Okay, so it's been noticed that we've been sort of like wasting time, and we need to be able to like not waste time or not lose any time when we are in class. And to prevent that from happening, we need to be able to like follow this new procedure with the agenda. So the agenda is going to have several different things on it. One of the things is going to have the date, okay, at the top. It's going to have the name of your class, and then you can access that via online. So any computer with internet access should be able to like help you access your agenda at any time, so that even if you're not here, then you know what you missed. It also is going to have the do now or the hook, and then your starting time and your end time for class. On the part of the top right on the agenda, there's times. So we need to be able to like be diligent with times. So when we are working on a specific activity, you need to be able to check your time. If you're spending more time than is needed for that particular activity, you need to be able to like move on to the next activity. If you're not able to deal with the activity or finish the activity within that time period, then you need to leave that activity for sort of like homework, okay? To keep us on track, I'm going to assign a student that is gonna pretty much help me with having some sort of like bell or an alarm. I know that all of you have a cell phone, so I'm just gonna borrow someone's phone, and then I'm just gonna assign that for like the bell of that particular day. Does that make sense? Yeah. So if we're gonna set the different alarms so that we can move on to the next activity. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Easy to use, correct?
Yep.
So, for instance, for today, we're gonna start at 8:15. We're gonna log into our computers. We're gonna grab a sensor, and then we're gonna find out its purpose. We only have 5 minutes because at 8:20, once you find the purpose, you search how to pretty much code it using Arduino. There's different things online that you can use for that. And then at 8:30, that's 10 minutes after that, we're gonna use a code sensor with Arduino to be able to like run some testing. And then you need to be able to like mess with the code and then tweak the code so that you can understand how it works. And then at 8:35, which is 5 minutes later, we need to be able to like write in our journals our entire experience with it, and pretty much how to code it, how to work with it. And 10 minutes after that, we're gonna open the forum for questions. Now it's important for you to, like, if you have any questions, if I'm doing a lesson or if I'm giving you instructions, I need you to wait and just write down your questions and then hold until the end when I open pretty much the forum for you to like ask any questions. And or I'm also gonna have, I'm gonna create some sort of Google Share where you can just like park your questions if you have any questions, and then the following class I can just like answer all of them at the same time. And then at 8:54, pretty much 2 minutes before you guys get dismissed, you're gonna be in charge of pretty much cleaning up your workstation, ensuring that your workstation is completely clean, and then you pretty much get ready to be dismissed. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Does anybody have any questions about how to use the agenda or how we're gonna run class after today? There are no questions. Is everything understood?
Yes.
Okay, how are we gonna keep track of the time?
So you're gonna assign someone, you're gonna assign a phone, and whoever's like the owner of that phone is gonna like remind you like every so often whenever the alarm goes off.
Right, whenever that alarm goes off, then we all know that we need to move on to that next activity. What would happen if we're not finished the activity?
We have to move on.
Huh?
We have to move on.
We need to be able to move on. Why do we need to move on to the next thing?
So we don't waste time.
So that we don't waste any time, because that's the main thing of the agenda. That's the whole purpose of the agenda, is to not being able to like waste any time. Does that make sense? Okay. What about if I have any questions? What do I do?
Put them in the form.
Just write them down And then, when do we ask?
Around 8:45 when open phone questions.
When we have the open forum for questions, that's when you ask your question. But what if you don't want to ask during the class because you're a little shy and you just don't want to like voice it out? What can you do?
You're making a Google like sheet that you're giving access to, and you can just like, you called it like a question stop or like something like that. That you can just put your question in, like after the class you're gonna go and answer the questions.
You can just put your question there. Okay, good. Are there any concerns or questions about this procedure? No. This is just to ensure that we are pretty much on time. So that's it. Thank you.